Now, I bet a whole lot of us is planning some big trip out of town right now for the summer, but I got to remind you, you probably don't need to go as far away as you think, because Illinois is in the middle of everything. Whether you are looking for adventures in breathtaking state parks, check. Explore the neon nostalgia of Route 66, check. Or want to make the most of summertime shot like me, check. And Enjoy Illinois can help you plan your getaway or help you convince your people to come visit you this time. Find just what you're looking for and a little more at enjoyillinois.com. Today on CityCast Chicago, why are the Broadview 4 still on trial? How are vendors doing at the farmers market this season? And what's your go-to karaoke song? It's Thursday, April 9th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago is talking about. I've got two fantastic guests in the building for you today. We've got freelance journalist Corley J back with us. Corley, always good to see you. How you feeling?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Jacoby.
I appreciate you making time. We've also got CityCast contributor Lee John Greco with us. Lee, good to see you again.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jacoby.
Before we jump into the conversation, I want to take a moment to say happy Local News Day. Y'all know I got a bit of a love-hate, mostly hate relationship with the national fake holidays, but today is a little different. Let's be honest. It's about connecting people with trusted local journalism, their favorite outlets, their favorite journalists. And for the last 5 years, CityCast has been sharing the daily conversations that are happening in and around our neighborhoods, shaping our city, our schools, what's going on at City Hall. And seriously, how many folks can say they've got the range we do? I have learned and talked about immigration courts, drama in the theaters, public housing, the city's terrible sports franchise owners, best place for burgers, airport traffics, and road trip. Pulling this off day in and day out not only takes a smart, funny, and dedicated team behind the scenes, amazing guests like the ones we have today, but also it takes the support from people like you to make it happen. And I can't think of a better time than Local News Day to become a CityCast Chicago neighbor. Plus, the perks aren't half bad either, if I say so myself. You can get rid of them ads. You can get access to neighbors-only events, a brand new members-only segment every week on the podcast, and I know some of y'all waiting for that brand new merch announcement. Baseball season just kicked off. We figure we celebrate Local News Day and this entire spring campaign by sending new neighbors our brand new CityCast Chicago pennant flags. Better neighbors make better cities. So become a neighbor today at membership.citycast.fm/Chicago. And again, happy Local News Day. Corley, Lee, I appreciate y'all being here, sitting through me trying to get people to come up off that bread so we can keep making this show day in and day out. But let's jump into the stories. Last summer, daily protests were taking place outside the ICE processing facility in Broadview. We've all covered the stories. We've seen the scenes, whether firsthand or via colleagues in the media, the tear gassing, shooting people with pepper balls, slamming people to the ground, taking people into custody. And of course, several protesters were eventually charged with conspiracy for being out there. Lee, can you remind us the details here? Because this is dragged on since an incident that happened last September.
So, yeah, as you might remember, Jacoby, the Broadview 6, as they were originally known, was charged last year by the government of, interrupting government operations out at the ICE facility in suburban Chicago. Now, of course, that Broadview 6 has been whittled down to 4, but, among that original group, there were many politicians. Among those were Kat Abu-Ghazaleh, who, of course, just ran for Illinois' 9th congressional district. And basically what the defendants, those 4 defendants, are arguing is that the government was specifically going after this group because, they were people running for office, right? They were, according to the government, banging on an ICE vehicle that allegedly they scratched the vehicle with with a key or something sharp. So that takes us back to this week, right? So Judge April Perry, who we know from all of the other ICE-related cases that we had last year, of course, she was one of the judges that blocked the National Guard from coming into Chicago. She just said yesterday that the defendant's motion to try and get any communications from the Trump White House, that, basically she wasn't going to accept that. She's saying that this wasn't politically motivated, and so the defendants are not going to get any of those communications. And according to the government, those communications don't exist at all. And again, I think to kind of put this in context, April Perry is not some kind of like right-leaning judge or something who normally sides with the Trump administration. I was actually kind of shocked that she even did this. So, we'll see where this goes. Now the trial is set for late May.
You've mentioned that two of the people have had the charges against them dropped. Is there any other chance that the four remaining people, you mentioned Kat Abou-Ghazaleh, Brian Shaw, an Oak Park Village trustee, Democratic committee person Michael Rabbitt, and Andre Martin, a member of Abou-Ghazaleh's campaign staff, is there any other chance that these four may have their charges dropped, or is this likely to start up in May?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know that that's a question that I can answer, Jacoby, because so many of these trials, or, cases right now as they move forward, like I said, I was honestly kind of shocked that, this was a ruling yesterday. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously one of the most high-profile cases, I think, that we've seen in a while, because it does involve Kat Abou-Ghazaleh, who, even though she lost against Daniel Biss for Illinois 9th congressional seat, she's still a pretty big figure in social media. She's appeared on MSNBC and everything. So I think if they were able to prevail in this case, that would at least kind of symbolically be a big win for them. But again, as you mentioned, like that would be the government's first successful prosecution of any protesters at all. And again, also, I think Broadview itself was really high profile. When you think about it, it was kind of like the, prologue to what happened in Minnesota. So, Chicago's been used as a test case, both for the Trump administration to see how far they can push things. And I also think it's been a test case for protesters and organizers to see how far can they push back.
I just thought that the court filing from the assistant U.S. attorney was so funny because he said, nonsensical hypothesis that officials in Washington have such an interest in local Illinois government. We know that's the case with the Trump administration. I mean, they stopped funding for the red line extension and also had a problem with the CPS success plan. So I think that to think that is just nonsensical for these people to feel like they were targeted is wild to me.
Totally agree, Corley, because we've seen it again and again. Chicago is, I think, kind of an easy punching bag for the Trump administration because they don't really lose anything by knocking Chicago, right? Like it's a blue city in a blue state. It's got this very progressive governor and everything. So it only serves to gain points for Trump.
I was just going to say, given how much punishment the Trump administration has tried to inflict on cities like Chicago over the last year, how worried should we be that Perry ultimately decided that this wasn't not only was this not politically motivated, that they could not find evidence for that, given that they continue to talk about this case openly and so much of their other sort of violent moves, kind of brazenly, kind of lauding it in our face.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about this actually, because I was, again, so surprised that Perry would rule that this wasn't politically motivated at all. But I think there's still a little bit of time. I think there's time for the defendants to make their case here during the trial. I'd also think the facts of the case will probably bear out in the course of a trial if, if it does go to that. And as you mentioned, again, the remaining four defendants have been asked for their cases to be dismissed. So again, trial's up in the air. But okay, is this really a conspiracy to interrupt
Yeah.
government operations? I mean, just looking at the videos that I have seen of Kat and others, quote unquote, like pushing that van. I mean, there's also several other people around that van as well.
Mhm.
So it's not like she and like five other people are doing that alone. And like realistically, they're not, really pushing against it. So I don't know. I think we'll wait and see. And again, I will note something else. I think it was kind of interesting that yesterday she basically also said to both sides, hey, like take it down a couple notches. She
Say the
said,
drama for the jury.
right, yeah, she said the level of quote vitriol and emotion quote being displayed in briefs by both the prosecutors and defense attorneys. Yeah. So she's like, hey, simmer down now.
Yeah, I'm trying to be glass half full on this. The trial is set for late May, as we mentioned, May 26th.
Hmm.
But I do think by the end of this may once again prove how little the federal government has in the claims they're making, not only about the individual actions of protesters, but the need for any of these operations that they've unleashed on cities across the country. And so I do think ultimately they're going to fail in this case. And it's once again going to show that they're playing a weak hand here.
Again, to the point of Chicago being a test case here, the federal government doesn't have a great track record here. They weren't able to prevail with the National Guard. They weren't able to prevail in a number of other immigration-related cases. Again, anything could happen. Weirder things have happened. But yeah, I think I'm with you, Jacoby. My guess is probably this doesn't turn out well for the Trump administration.
All right, come on. Spring in Chicago really trying us this year out the gate. We done got the wind and the rain and the hail and the thunder. And if we being honest, it's probably revealed some of our windows to be a little fool. Luckily, the pros at Window Nation can help you get new energy efficient windows at a great price. Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale is going on right now, where you can get up to 50% off all the windows for your home. You heard me correct, half off. The experts will make sure your new windows fit perfectly and keep your home comfortable all year round, and they're in and they're out, and those windows gonna be easy to open when we do finally get them sunny days. But don't wait, the sale ends soon, and you need windows that help you get through the weather we got right now. Schedule a fast free consultation at windownation.com. So here on the podcast, we have been very transparent about our love for Chicago's farmers markets. But as we prepare for yet another outdoor season, I'm dreaming about them tacos at the South Loop Farmers Market. Bring them on to me. Yeah. Unfortunately, as the season kicked off with one of Chicago's biggest farmers markets just this past weekend, vendors are sounding the alarm that many are in an affordability and sustainability crisis at the moment. Corley, what are we hearing?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Jacoby. Shout out to the Sun-Times, Erica Thompson, for going out to the Green City Market in Lincoln Park this past Saturday. Even though it was rainy, a lot of people showed up to support the farmers markets because, we as Chicagoans love farmer markets. And one thing that she pointed out is how the Trump administration has had a big impact on the farmers markets already as we're starting up. So you have not only the cost of goods such as food, making the vendors' prices go up, but also impacts gas prices because of the Iran war, right? So one of the vendors who comes from Wisconsin to sell at the Green City Market talked about how their prices went up to fill up their gas from $45 to $75. And it's going to impact people as we go out to the farmers markets because we're going to hit our pockets, Jacoby. We're going to see prices go up when we go out to support these local vendors. And one of my New Year's resolutions was actually to go out to more farmers markets. And I'm still going to go out and support these local farmers and everything. I'm not going to let the prices deter me, but I thought that was really interesting. Vendors are also impacted by the federal cuts that impacted different contracts. So also one vendor, we're talking about how the U.S. Department of Agriculture canceled $1 billion in programs that allow like food banks and schools to buy from farmers. And her selling at the farmers market helped her to get out of the debt. I believe that she bought like $20,000 in seeds beforehand. And because of those canceled contracts, he's kind of feeling the impact of that and the weight of that.
Yeah. I mean, as Erica was going through the farmers market talking to people, I know a lot of the vendors said that they hate the fact that they're going to have to pass off some of these costs to customers at the end of the day. But do we have a sense of actually how that's going to impact prices at the farmers market when they really start opening up next month?
Just like I said, Jacoby, or one vendor was talking about how the price of bags and certain containers for salsa have risen by 15%. And so some of them are going to have to pass their cost off to customers. So we'll probably see a little increase from some of the vendors, hopefully not all of them, but I'm just very excited to support these local vendors during the market season.
I will also say, as somebody who not only loves going to a farmer's market, but also works on Saturdays at a farmer's market.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. That's so cool.
Yeah, because that's freelance life for you. You got to do a bunch of different things. But what I have noticed is that at a lot of farmers markets, actually, the price of produce, especially, can often be so much cheaper than a grocery store. Depending on which farmers market you go to, of course, some are a little bougier than others. You also got to like kind of shop and look at the specific stands. That's my recommendation, is like do a loop first, see, comparison shop and everything. But if you still compare the quality and the price to like a Mariano's or a Jewel or whatever, I do think you are getting a way better deal at the farmer's market. You're also keeping money in the pocket of people in your neighborhood or your state or, nearby, whether it's, a guy in Wisconsin or somebody in Southern Illinois or Michigan or something. There are a number of farmers markets all across Chicago. There's one that operates throughout the winter as well, over in Avondale by the river. And they accept SNAP and Link as well. Now, of course, like the downside of the prices going up is that your Snap and Link is not going to go as far probably as it once did. But I think that's also something to keep in mind. I think sometimes people think of a farmer's market as this like super bougie thing. But yeah, like when you chat with the fellow vendors and everything, like you definitely hear them talk about how prices affect them, weather affects them, even things like, oh, you get a new bunch of chickens and they're not old enough and they're not like making enough eggs now. Like there are just so many different factors that these farmers have to deal with. So yeah, go support your local farmers market.
I love the point that you made about, just keeping the money local, in your company economy and strengthening that. Last year I went to the Roseland People's Market, which I love that market. Jacoby, my favorite, obviously because it's close to me here on the far south side. But I bought some shiitake mushrooms and they were so good, great price. And I used them for a stir fry. And I was just like so great. It was just like so great to make that. I felt like I made an impact, by making that purchase. And also it was just like great to have that meal in my home. But also I bought some plants as well from a local vendor during the Roseland People's Market, a money tree. And I don't have the greatest green thumb, so the money tree is kind of struggling. I think it's like symbolic too. But I'm excited to buy more plants.
I once bought a money tree and accidentally infested my entire room and apartment with like fruit flies. It was really bad for a while.
That's the plant life, fruit flies.
It was so bad. They took over my whole apartment. It took a couple weeks to get it down, but yeah, I obviously love going to the farmers market wherever one is closest to me right now. The closest one to me is the South Loop Farmers Market. I love to go to the Mercado in Little Village. 61st Street Farmers Market is one of my favorites as well. Lee, you mentioned you work at one on the weekends. What's the one you work at, and is that also your favorite, or do you have another favorite?
Yeah, I work at the Lincoln Park Farmers Market, but not, so it's very confusing. There are two farmers markets within like 4 blocks of each other in Lincoln Park, but one is Green City. I work the one that's not Green City. I also love the Logan Square Farmers Market. I think I did do the story for you guys about that being the horny farmers
Yes.
market, which I
Has it
I
lost
somewhat
its?
just
Go
well,
ahead.
okay, here's the thing. I don't think it's horny for straight people, but if you're queer, that is the place to go. That is
Okay.
like, so yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that one is cool. Um what other farmers markets have I gone to? Oh, and just in general, anytime I see a Tamales Express, which we have at our farmers market, I hit that up because it is like the perfect like lunch slash breakfast. It's just a good meal. It's affordable. I know I've talked about how much I love tamales on the show before, but yeah, so yeah, Lincoln Park Farmers Market. I think it's great. Head over, spend your money.
I'm
So
excited
yeah.
to get out to the 95th Street Farmers Market with my mom. Some of
Mhm.
the people have already started posting on the Instagram their first day. Some markets haven't, but I'm keeping close track. The city usually puts out a good list. They haven't dropped their 2026 schedule yet, but once it drops, you're gonna find it in the show notes.
Yeah.
So
A
keep
lot of the
doing that.
markets are going to open like in late April. Like ours opens in late April, and that's kind of, the time that it goes. We also go until the second to last week in November, which not a lot of the markets do.
Not a lot of people
So,
make it that late into the season.
because
Come
it's
on,
cold, Jacoby.
cold
Right.
season.
It is.
It's getting warmer. November's getting warmer.
Yeah, yeah. You,
Yeah,
you
they
go
are.
out there. You go out there at 6 a.m. and tell me how warm it is. Is it warm? Is it warm?
Great point. I'm done talking. I'm done
Yeah.
talking. Before we get out of here, this has been a very fun year for us over at Karaoke Storytellers. Very productive. We're about to have our third show of the year at Lincoln Hall this Sunday. And I'm thinking about getting up there and doing a little karaoke myself. Having hosted, I don't know, 30 shows, I've only ever sung twice in
Really?
the show's
Wow.
history.
That's really shocking to me.
Yes, I'm not big on karaoke. I think I've only ever done it maybe a handful of times, 4 or 5 times, maybe once with family, once back in college, and then twice with Karaoke Storytellers. Like I used to do like the choir as a kid,
I was
and
gonna
I'm gonna
say, do
tell
you sing?
like on the show and like in around the crib. I'm always making up random songs. I'm very good for breaking into a freestyle out of nowhere. Um, it has eluded me on the podcast. I got good self control in that sense, apparently. But I am thinking about performing a story and a song this weekend. I've only ever done Wish You Were Here from Jamie Foxx, and I think it was a James Brown song. I think The Payback. The
Mm.
big payment. And that's really, I only did that because I just got to scream the whole time. You don't really got to sing. You just kind of got to shout.
Yeah, James Brown is a lot of like just emoting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seemed really fun to do.
So I wanted to know from y'all, what is y'all's go-to karaoke song, or where do you like to go perform karaoke, watch karaoke? Corley, are you a karaoke fan?
I like karaoke. I think that as far as performing, I like the idea of performing karaoke. Like, I like to sing. I can't sing, but I love to sing. But when confronted with karaoke, I can never choose the right song. I just never know. It's too much pressure. But
Okay.
I really enjoy going to Punch Bowl Social to do karaoke. They have like the privacy rooms there, great bar, great games and everything. So I really enjoyed that. And it's like more of an intimate setting. So, like put on out on Front Street for everybody to see you, right?
Gotcha.
And then if I have to say like a go-to karaoke song, I just love like Bad Mama Jamma by Carl Carlton. Rest in peace to him. He actually passed away this past December. But I just love that song, so much energy and everything. And I think that everybody mostly everybody knows it. So
I'm going to let me play it real quick.
I find like any songs from the 70s, like Earth, Wind, and Fire,
yeah,
like those types of bands, everybody, like age, race, gender, everybody loves.
everybody
Like,
loves and knows that type,
yeah,
that vibe.
it's just like good crowd pleasers. Like I've been in so many weddings recently where like they start off with like just like hard stuff that millennials are into. And I'm like, can we start it off with Earth, Wind, and Fire? Can we play the hits that everybody's gonna love? Because your grandma's gonna like it, your dad's gonna like it. Like
just like
kids like it.
The Isley Brothers. It's just like something that you can just play and everybody just like knows the words to.
What about you, Lee? What is your place to go and your song to sing?
Simone knows that I like Whitney Houston, but I've also I went to Reed's Local recently, which I had never been to in general. I know that it's like a like top dive bar in Chicago, but I didn't know that they had karaoke. And I've been really into Hilary Duff lately because she's having a renaissance right now with her new tour. So yeah, anything from her tracks is good. But also I was saying earlier, like I think karaoke is very mood based, right? So like if you're in your feels about, relationship, like I think You're So Vain is always good.
I feel like we've heard a little bit of everything. We've heard the Carly. A few people have tried their hand at some Mary J and some Whitney Houston. A little bit of everything. Somebody, Connor once sang Men in Black, and it was unexpected,
so
but
cool.
Like hit the mood of the room just right.
Will Smith, also a crowd pleaser. You know why? Because he sampled songs from the 1970s.
Building in nostalgia.
Summertime might be a good one. Summertime might be a good karaoke song. Especially because it's based on Chicago, summertime.
Is it really?
Yeah, you didn't know?
No.
Yeah, like he wrote the song thinking about Chicago summers. I believe he wrote it actually in the airport, and we were the inspiration for
in the airport.
Summertime by Fresh Prince.
But Chicago genuinely does have a lot of songs about it. Like I didn't realize actually, because my parents are really big into like the Rat Pack and Frank Sinatra, so they were listening to it all weekend on a long drive we had. And I was like, oh, Frank Sinatra had 2 songs about Chicago.
I didn't know that. I just know
Chicago gets multiple songs. Yeah. Nobody sings about like, they're not like St. Louis. Nobody's like Kansas City.
Isn't it Kansas City, Here I Come? Ain't that the song?
Which one?
It's like Kansas City, here I come. Don't they got a song? Like
what is that from?
I don't know. Maybe there's another one.
I think
song. No, that's by Wilbert Harrison. I think that's a real song.
When did that come out?
1959.
Yeah, I was like, Wilbert Harrison. He's not a recent artist. Add that in the show notes.
I'm glad I remember that though.
Missouri transplants that fled to Chicago.
Please pull up. I got free tickets for y'all if y'all want to come. Anybody on the CityCast team, if y'all too want to stop by Sunday night, I'll drop the link. And well, that's not for y'all listening. It's for the people who are guests on the show today. If you listen and you like, that sounds fantastic, I want to come, I'll drop a ticket link in the show notes for you. I want to give a huge thank you. I love that Simone and Emmy are having a whole karaoke conversation in the show notes. Just somebody wrote about Jazzy Jeff and then Fleetwood Mac. I'm a Fleetwood Mac guy myself. I do Alanis Morissette. I kill Team Hillary. My Instagram feed is Def Team Ashley, but I don't actually know why. I love y'all. Have a great time. I want to give a huge thank you to our guest today, CityCast contributor Lee John Greco. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
And freelance journalist Corley J. Thank you for making time for us today.
Thank y'all so much.
And for everybody else listening, remember, this is the perfect time to sign up and become a CityCast Chicago neighbor. Celebrate Local News Day with us by going to membership.citycast.fm. We are going to give you ad-free listening, access to neighbors-only events, and you're going to get to listen to that very special neighbors-only segment, which we're going to be popping out very soon. Again, you can find links in our show notes. We are going to be back bright and early tomorrow. But before we get out of here, some good news. Chicago Public Library are hosting some amazing poetry events this Saturday, including Poetry of Place and Resistance at the Manning branch down the street from the United Center. And they've got a bilingual poetry workshop at the Archer Heights branch. I'm going to drop links for you. We're going to be back bright and early tomorrow. I'll talk to you then. Peace.
Every time I see this water bottle,
you know what?
It's like as big as like from your head to your like. It's like a prop. It's like it looks like a funny like when they get like those big wine glasses and fill them with like Skittles or something.
You know what? In 10 years when my skin is still glowing, I'm gonna thank this gigantic water bottle. It is bigger than my head, actually. I'm completely high behind it. That's kind of